Finally somebody in the Clippers office or front office made a good decision. This changes everything for the Clippers because now, you've heard me talk about this situation multiple times, and definitely I've told you that I am over it, and I've been over it, and I definitely didn't look forward to it because I don't believe that, Philadelphia 76ers star James Harden is what the Clippers need to really win a championship. I think the Clippers can go just as far without James Harden, just as much as I think they can go, far with James Harden. You see what I'm saying? If they acquired him. But, I've been reading some reports and things like that. You could check out some sites yourself. But the notion that's going around now about that situation that everybody seems to just bubble over, and then now him and Daryl Morey's going back and forth. It was the Clippers who made the call to end the talks about the trade talks with the 76ers in regards to James Harden. It wasn't, all Daryl Morey, or at least it's looked at as all Daryl Morey because he's the GM. He's the decision maker, and he's the guy that everybody looks at and say, all the decisions come from him, from the top. So it's gonna be looked at as like he was the one that tried to stop James Harden from getting to LA to the Clippers, because that's where James Harden wanted to go reportedly. So when you see the situation itself, and now reports are coming out about the Clippers ended the call or ended the James Harden saga in regards to the possible trade, it could have been because of multiple reasons. It could have been because, of course, the 76ers are going to ask for a lot back, in which I knew they would because, Terrence Mann came up, Norman Powell came up, and even one or two picks came up, along with Marcus Morris' name got thrown in there as well. So unless it was like a three-team trade or something like that, that's the only way the Clippers probably would have came out on top with the situation, because it would have made it more fair for them. But it wasn't going to possibly be a three-team trade because the Sixers really weren't trying to go for that at that time, especially because the leverage they have with James Harden and the value that they think that he still has because he played one or two good games in the playoffs with like 40 points or something like that. They feel like they have more leverage than the Clippers. And then the Clippers probably felt like, when you think about it, why give up all our assets for James Harden, who is damn near washed, who can play, but always chokes in big games? I mean, even without injuries, even without James Harden gaining weight the way he did on Houston, all those things, when has he ever really been a winner? He's never been a winner throughout his career. He's been a scorer. He can score a lot of points, but he's never been a winner. And that's the difference. Guys who put up a lot of points don't get remembered. Guys who win championships get remembered. And James Harden is going down that slope of just putting up a lot of points and being one of the lethal scorers that we ever seen in this game. But we've seen a lot of lethal scorers in this game. I can go, a lot of people. Allen Iverson was a lethal scorer in this game, but it doesn't mean anything, even though Allen Iverson's always going to be remembered because he was such a trendsetter. He was such a icon, a mogul. He was all that, you know what I'm saying? He was, he was infamous, controversial. He was everything the media wanted, to make a story out of with all the stuff he was going through. But he was also superly talented as a basketball player and gifted and a mega superstar beyond what we can even imagine at times. But, Allen Iverson's different. But my point is, when you think about somebody like James Harden, he was a mega superstar and all these things, but he never even been to a finals himself. Now, he been to the finals with the OKC Thunder with KD and Russ, and along with him coming off the bench. But after that was KD and Russ. Since he's been a superstar himself, he's never even been to the finals, and he's choked in closeout games. So I mean, when you think about that, choking in closeout games and big games and things like that, I mean, it's just not what the Clippers really need. I mean, I can remember a situation in 2017 or 18 when they played the Spurs, and Kawhi Leonard got hurt that closeout game, and the Spurs still beat the Houston Rockets without Kawhi Leonard, and James Harden had nothing to show for. I mean, it was just a waste. You see what I'm saying? And he's had many moments like that, and I just don't think that's something that would help the Clippers. I mean, because if he chokes in big moments, it'd almost be more worth it not having him there. So I feel like the Clippers, when they looked at this whole situation from top to bottom, Who is James Harden really? Are we getting the one from Houston, or are we getting the one in Brooklyn who was a part of the disruption of that team and tore them apart along with Kyrie? Are we getting the one here that's kind of like a drama queen here in Philadelphia, where he's just going back and forth, and he led the league in assists and all those things because he still got talent, but at the same time, he's not the player that he once was. And no matter what anybody tells you in the playoffs, your star players have to shine. And there's nights where, hypothetically, if he was on the Clippers, he would have to go out there and step in and shine and possibly lead a couple of nights. That's just the way it is. Because some nights Kawhi PG might be off along with Russ. He has to be the guy. And can they count on him being the guy in them moments, in big moments when you need him? Possibly, but more likely not, because of his credit history and him not showing up in big games and failing and not being the player that he need to be in those moments. So, I mean, as I said before, the Clippers probably think the same thing I think. The Clippers can go as far with James Harden. They can probably go as far without James Harden, because the three guys they have, Russ, Kawhi, and PG, if they stay healthy, they will give anybody in the Western Conference a run. It is no doubt about it. They will give anybody a run. I don't care who it is, especially with the depth that they have behind them, all the pieces that they got. So, I mean, it would be tough, to see them, go down again injury wise, because I mean, they got a lot of talent still on their team and they're still a championship contender to me. But the James Harden thing, the Clippers ended the talks the way the reports are saying, then right on to them, because they did the right thing, because there's no need to put all this stock into a guy like James Harden, who is overweight, still looks like, to me, he doesn't look like the player he did in Houston to me. He sacrificed some of his scoring for Joel Embiid, yes, but at the same time, what did you see from him in Brooklyn? What did you see from him on the Brooklyn Nets when he was with KD and Kyrie? He didn't look that good with them either. So, I mean, it's like you can sit there and make excuses for James Harden, but you haven't seen James Harden play at an elite level consistently for years, really. I mean, not at the level that we know that he can play at. Now, my point is, as I said before, in big moments, you can't trust James Harden. So why would the Clippers give up most of their stock for him? It's pointless. And then all the back and forth that was going on in, between the Sixers within the locker room, or should I say within the organization, the turmoil that was going on, the Clippers probably didn't want to deal with that and not be a part of that, because it would have just been a stressful operation trying to pry him away from the Sixers rather than a smoother operation, in which they probably was looking for. But at the same time, the Clippers probably didn't have the leverage, of course, because they got a lot of pieces and they wanted James Harden, but it just maybe cost too much for him. And I definitely applaud the Clippers for not trying to do too much and go after a player that's really damn near out of his prime and almost washed, if you ask me, because the Clippers have been known to do things like that in the past. So maybe now the era has changed and times have changed and things are different, apparently, because now they're not, stressed out, or they're not desperate to go after a player like James Harden, because they got Kawhi and PG already. You know what I'm saying? They're not desperate as they used to be. I always feel like the Clippers back in the day used to be more of a desperate team, trying to go after players and make trades and do things like that. And the players really didn't even fit, for the Clippers. But I mean, when you're desperate, you do a lot of things that you usually don't do. But regardless of that, the Clippers, if the talks are true, they ended the conversation. They didn't want to go no further with it. They feel like they're good with what they have. I'm glad for the Clippers, because they are good with what they have. And I think they might even be able to go further than what they would with James Harden without him, because like I said, if Russ, Kawhi, and PG form some type of, fluidity and continuity, the NBA might be in trouble if they stay healthy. But hey, leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk about it.